All right, she's back on the trailer. I'm gonna take this thing over to my buddy's house, put it up on the lift this time to make it faster. The local transmission shop has the parts I need. Order transmission fluid. Monday morning, happy Labor Day. Let's do this. So we got a little bit of transmission fluid. As you guys see, he's coming out the bell housing. So let's go ahead and tear this thing out. All right, trans is out. Let me show you guys something. Again, not experienced trans builder at all. Here's the converter. That converter fits real tight on here, so I've always had problems with it wanting to stay. But anyway, if you look right here, that's the bushing. So the bushing's actually stayed on the shaft of the thing. So that could have been, I mean, the bushing should be pressed in the pump. So that could have been from just prior damage with all that mess, is the way that could have happened. So anyways, let me get that converter off there, and I gotta pull the pump out of that thing. And it's torn down. Okay, so clutches and bands actually look really good. I was worried because it did run low in fluid, but it looks great. So we're not gonna touch that stuff. This is the bushing that was stuck on the snout of the converter that actually sits inside the front of this pump. So here's the gear set in the pump, the inner and outer. The first thing I noticed is there is a little bit of a lip on here and then some discoloration. Now again, it's possible that this all deprived from when the converter was built wrong the first time. See, it was rubbing a little bit there, a little bit of discoloration. And if we look over here, this bushing is actually supposed to press tight in this pump and it'll actually slide right through. This should not do that. That's not good. And then it got into the housing just a little bit where my fingernail is. Now that could have been when the bushing spun, stayed on there, and then started cutting into it, possibly. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get another pump for it. I'm not even gonna gamble. I think I got lucky that I stopped running it when I did. I'm happy that, this stuff looks good, so I'm not tearing apart anything else. I'm just going to cover it up so it stays clean. The only part that really stinks is I'm going to have to send, once I get that reman pump, even if they have one, if you can see there's like a notch machined in there, a flat spot, I'm going to have to send that section of the stator back out and have that done, because that's a part for the trans brake with lubrication. So yeah, so that's where we stand now. I'm gonna see, today's Monday, Labor Day, so tomorrow I'm gonna see if I can get that stuff. We'll see what we can do. If I can get that stuff, pick that stuff up early in the morning and then take the pump and run it to the machine shop, that'll kind of give me a leg up. But we'll see. So amongst all the chaos of the transmission failure, look what just came in. That's my fuel cell from Aero from Australia. Basically, the customs lost the other one. I talked about this a little bit. I ordered it back in January. Custom lost it. Once we got all that hashed out, I talked to them and I told them, hey, if you want to sell this, do you still want to sell it? Whatever. And they said, yeah. And they shipped it DHL, and it is here. It's actually pretty fast. So Bella's checking it out for me. So let's pop this box open and take a look. Wow, check this thing out. Okay, so this is a 20-gallon fuel cell, flat bottom, billet pump hanger. The main reason why I ordered this is it actually will accept 3 of the Walbor 450 pumps in the tank. I'm so excited to see this. Comes with fuel sender right there. So this is going to help the weight get up and back. Hopefully help with weight transfer a little bit of the track. But man, it's been a while, and this thing is very nice quality weld. It's a really nice billet hanger. And I cannot wait to get this thing in the truck and get that stock fuel tank out. So that'll be in another video at some point in time. Right now, we're going to concentrate on getting this trans back together. Okay, so fast forward to 2 days, brand new pump. Let me show you. New pump. I had this thing machined somewhere in there. There you can see a little slot where it's machined at. So I'm going to go ahead and get it cleaned up. Go ahead and pre-assemble the pump. and then we're gonna work on putting this thing back together. I'm gonna have to do some polishing. It has a little bit of a scar that is a little bit concerning to me. Hopefully I can get that thing polished out. We'll see. And through the miracle of modern technology, transmission's back in, we're ready to go. We're gonna put some fluid in it and get ready to fire this thing up. All right, guys, hopefully you can hear me. She's back on the road. This is the maiden voyage. We're gonna take a little test drive and make sure everything's okay. I was going through all the gears. So that's third. And we're going to lock up. There's lock up. And that's overdrive. So far, so good. We'll put some miles on this bad boy and then probably raise it up and look at it. It looks like test and tune for this Sunday might be out of the question. They're calling for rain. But yeah, it looks like she's back on the road for now. Fingers crossed. I'd like to just have some time to enjoy the thing instead of having to tear it apart all the time. Let's talk business. Put some miles on the truck. It appears to be doing okay. I did have a scare with it. I think, I don't know, the second night I had it out where I thought I lost overdrive, and actually what happened was the shifter came unhooked for the linkage down. So that was like a semi-heart attack right there. I do want to show you a couple other things. I have decided to put the shift light in the truck. When it was AM, I had a Holley Sniper shift light, so I put that back in it. I think I prefer that over the dash. I guess that's why a lot of people do that. They also, run the shift light with the dash, unless they have some kind of air shift or something. So hook that up. I'll show you that real quick. And then another thing is my steering wheel. I'm not quite ready to go over that yet. I haven't quite figured out and got it where I want it, but I can give you a little preview of what it's going to look like. So I'll turn the camera around. So MPI Cletus steering wheel. Again, we're gonna go over some more of this stuff once I kind of get it sit where I wanted. I don't quite like the way it's sitting in the truck now, but again, we'll talk about that later. And then you can see my shift light right up in the corner. I just stuck it to the windshield. I didn't really want to stick it to the dash. I did want to put it in front of the cluster like I had it before. I do need to get a new piece of trim. I don't know if you can see it with the lighting. That's rat holes drilled for the old AM gauges. But yeah, got that in, got that set up. We'll talk about this later. I do want to take it out on the road and do some stuff with it, read some spark plugs, this, that, and the other. But maybe I'll take you along with me. We'll do that next. Finally got the steering wheel thing figured out. I'm going to show you guys real quick. First and foremost, for those of you that's never installed one of these, this is actually my first time too, so don't feel bad. I wanted to show you something real quick. I'm going to try to do it with one hand. But I did have to, there's about 3 different items that you're going to need besides the steering wheel to make this work on your factory column. But I do want to show you real quick with this straight edge. We're going to measure how far that steering wheel sticks out at you compared to the new one to your OE one. So let me flip the camera around. Okay, so here's what I'm going to attempt to do. Basically, what I did is lay a flat edge across the steering wheel and then measure from where the center of the steering shaft would be to this flat edge, okay? Can't do it one-handed, but believe me when I say it, I'm getting about 3.5 inches here. And I don't put the measuring tape flat against here. I have it popped up a little bit because the thickness of the nut and the steering shaft pokes through it. But yeah, so 3.5 inches there, right? So just remember that. That's roughly your factory. And then what I did is the same thing basically with the aftermarket MPI Cletus wheel, is we laid a flat edge across it, just like so, and then measured from the steering shaft to that leading edge. And I'm actually getting about 3 3/4. So that thing does sit out just 1/4 of an inch more. So make note of that. Now, what does this consist of? What is it going to take to do this to your truck? A couple things. First and foremost, steering wheel. Obviously, next thing I had to get is a 6 to 5 bolt adapter. These drag wheels are not only 13 inches, but they're actually 5 bolt. Most of this NRG stuff 6 bolt. So there is a little, if you can see that 1/2 inch space right there, my thumb's touching, that's actually an adapter ring. So, steering wheel, you got your adapter ring that actually comes off Amazon. I'll put a link for those of you interested. Now, SFI, Pearly Roofed, NRG Quick disconnect is the next thing. So we got the quick disconnect. I kind of like it. I've never had anything with a quick disconnect. Kind of just put it on there, and that's it. She's locked in nice and tight. And then it has a collar you pull up right here. So this collar right here. So I just pull the collar, pull the steering wheel off. So you got the quick disconnect, and then the next thing is your NRG short hub that, you know, goes down to the swines of the steering shaft and uses the factory bolt. But again, sticks out about 1/4 inch more. I did want to show you guys that. I know a couple guys are using... Okay, sorry, I had to shut the compressor off. But anyway, that's the stick out on it. Again, it would only appear that that thing sticks out about 1/4 inch more forward than your factoring, which really, in my opinion, isn't that big a deal. Part numbers. There's your part number for your SFI quick disconnect from NRG right there. So you see that right there? So that is one of the pieces you're gonna need. Another piece you're gonna need is the NRG short hub, and there you go. So that's the part number for your short hub. It's gonna fit your Dakota. The last piece right here, there you go. That actually came off Amazon, and it's listed as, see where it says steering wheel adapter, you know, 1/2 inch spacer black. That's actually how it's listed on Amazon. And I'll put the link down there for you guys. But those are the items that you are gonna need in those 3 boxes. If you want to add a steering wheel like that to your truck, I did try the NRG adapter, but believe it or not, the NRG 5-bolt and MPI 5-bolt are not the same. So unfortunately, we cannot use that. But yeah, so I just wanted to drop that little bit of information in there for you guys. I thought that'd be helpful, especially if you want to switch to that steering wheel. I really like it. It is kind of weird going from a 13 inch to the factory one, as I think that's like, man, 14.5, 15, but you know, easier to maneuver around, get in and out, especially down the road when the thing gets the cage in, and the fact that the quick disconnect comes off is pretty cool too. It snaps right back on, nice and tight. But again, just want to kind of share that stuff for you guys. Okay, you guys, I think I'm going to end this one off here. I do plan on taking this thing out, and I wanted to run around a little bit and read some spark plugs and play with the timing in it. I'll take you guys along with me when we do that, because I'd be curious to see. I've never read plugs before. I've seen it done a lot. Obviously, you know, it's a great idea. And obviously, I don't have a dyno, so we're going to go out and do our thing. And again, I'll bring you guys with me. Thanks for watching. You know, hopefully I gave you some good information, especially when it comes to the steering wheel stuff. And I'm just happy to have the truck back together. Until next time, see ya.